So you don't give any importance to teaching in silence?
Only for the beginners. Beginners, everything is nice, everything is good, because they are preparing themselves to reach the liberation point of view. When we consider liberation alone is the highest thing, then no practice is necessary, no following is necessary. So actually, we have to give up everything. When there is no following, then only the liberation is there. Otherwise, whenever we are having some following, whenever having some philosophy in our hand, we are having some responsibility. We are having some boundary. So whenever we are free, no boundary is there, no following is there, no philosophy is there. We have to be free. No work is there. That is alone is the Sumayur. Sumayur, doing nothing. Sumayur, doing nothing.
Then that itself become a philosophy, Sumayur, that it's become again a philosophy.
So if it takes,
we have to put some effort to become the Sumayur.
So whenever you are taking effort to be in the nothing state, it again is a philosophy.
Yeah, that's again. That's what I am come to say. That, but the problem is the problem itself that only. We know that we have to be nothing state, but for that unknowingly or knowingly we are putting effort to that. How to avoid that effort?
So here, whatever having happened in the psychological world, we have to take it as an unconscious one. Even though it looks like a conscious effort, even though you are following some philosophy or not, we have to take it as an unconscious happening. We have to name it as an unconscious happening. Then only it will be alright.
Yeah, again, when we talk about unconscious happening, if we talk something about psychological things, that is again effort.
So here, whenever you take some responsibility to change anything, because something has happened, whether conscious happening or conscious doing or not, but you are doing something, but you think you are committing a mistake, and afterwards you are taking some decision not to commit a mistake. So here, whatever happens in the psychological world, you have to give total consent to that. We should not hold yourself responsible for any wrong committed by you. You have to, that means you commit as many wrong as possible. You are having the total right to commit wrong within yourself. Yeah. So you can commit wrong.
What you are saying is correct, but when we, actually from the beginning, like I am 53, the society or me, myself, will build up certain things, saying that you have to do this way, that way. Okay, that I cannot eradicate just like that. Am I correct or not? Psychologically, I am very tough. Already worked at 53 years, I have certain ideas, certain ideologies, certain philosophy, everything. Now, all of a sudden, if you ask me to just observe it or just take it easy, at the time, I cannot do that. I could not do that. This, what you are saying is correct, but it's not allowing me to do that.
So
here, come out of that.
So you have some philosophy and you cannot follow the philosophy, you cannot execute the philosophy successfully. So something happened beyond your philosophy.
That's sure.
So you accept that. So if something is happening psychologically, so it is not under your control. That is the evidence that it is not under your control. So you totally accept that.
Yeah. That will become again a philosophy. Accept it again. See, I won't accept it. It's not that I don't want to.
So here, whatever it may be, so whatever you are doing in the psychological world, you may take it as a wrong. Let it be a wrongdoer. You openly admit you are wrongdoing. So psychologically, you must be in a correct way. You keep yourself to do a correct thing alone. So psychologically, you have no work. In spite of your understanding that you have no work is needed, in spite of that you do something with some philosophy or not. But let it be whatever happens in the psychological world, you are not in a position to measure you. You have no right to question anything. So you are in a unquestionable state. Whatever you do, it may be wrong, let it be wrong.
Yeah. There I could not understand. There the not. Actually, I could not accept it as, okay, let it happen. This is wrong, let it happen. That acceptance is not coming.
So what else you have to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. The problem itself, see, I read all of your, most of your books. It's very good. Actually, but there is a thin line.
Here you are trying to execute a philosophy in the psychological world. That alone is the problem. So you are trying to execute the problem.
Yeah, how to come out of the problem? The question is, I know that there is a problem.
So here,
how to come out?
Don't try to execute the problem consciously. That is alone is the thing. So in spite of your understanding, something happens, you consider it as an unconscious happening. Because you are on your part, you have no idea to execute a philosophy within the psychological world. But in spite of that, if you try to execute the philosophy, means that has to be done without your effort. It has to happen. It has to be treated as a happening. Because on your part, you have no idea to execute any effort. But in spite of that, you are doing something, means it is beyond your control. So accept it is going beyond your control.
He has to accept that he can't accept.
I can't accept. That's what the problem is. I can't accept that. How to accept that? How to accept it?
Again, you are asking your philosophy.
Yeah, again, that's the problem is
Again, you ask your philosophy to execute.
The problem is what I am facing, but I could maybe a lot of people might be facing.
So your question is a demand for another philosophy.
Yeah, that's what is coming. How to accept it again? I could not accept it. That's all.
So here you come to a conclusion. No work, even in in a state where we cannot take a decision, you take it as a natural one. So here is that you have to turn your face from there, because whenever you turn your face there, you will find some fault and want to correct something. So you have no right to measure yourself psychologically. So whenever you are measuring yourself, naturally you will have an idea to correct the thing, because you will find fault with that. Whenever you are measuring yourself, you will find a fault with yourself. Then you have to try to correct yourself. So here the measuring creates problem itself. So we have no right to measure you psychologically. If you measure, you have to say everything is correct. And even when you want to do your philosophy, and if you are executive philosophy, you can execute a philosophy by giving total acceptance to everything. Accept everything. Whatever happens, let it happen. You may accept it. Then in course of time it will be alright. But as a practice, you can do like this. But actually, no practice is necessary. But in spite of that, we unconsciously we want some practice. We may do like this. Whatever you are having, you give total full consent to that. Everything is happening naturally. You may go along with that. And course of time, everything all right on its own.
So you said turn your face from that. You said, so turn your face from that.
Yeah.
So where do we turn our face to?
So the circumstances alone, the real world is the external world. Right. There we can have many things to face, but psychologically it's only the reaction.
Yeah.
Where we are existing is the actual world. This is only a shadow or a illusion. Yeah. It's a reaction. And when we are interested upon the images on the illusion and the shadow, then we want to have an intention to correct these shadows.
Yeah. I think that's why the silence seems is so attractive, because when the silence is there, there's no interest in the psychological state. And I'd like to come back to, what's your name?
Asaf.
To what Asaf said. He asked, so you don't, he said, so you don't pay any attention or give any importance to teachings in silence. And yet that was what he asked. And with Ramana, they thought like this is the highest teaching, is the teaching in silence. That's what he said, the highest teaching is the teaching in silence. So there's that attraction to that silence. And, but yeah, I know if I can sit quietly, I can meditate and sit quietly for 1,000 years and I will be liberated. I know that. But you're not giving attention to it. Yet Ramana said it's the highest teaching, the teaching in silence. So, and when you come here and you sit here and we're silent, I think there's a deep love for that silence. And so I guess that's the attraction to it. So I was wondering if you could say something about that. Ramana is saying that the teaching in silence is the highest teaching. He talks like that anyways.
The presence may be benefited, but it will not give you an understanding. The understanding is only in the intellectual world.
Right.
You have to have a conclusion intellectually. Then only, because all problem is intellectual. So the silence is not related to the intellectual problem.
Right, I understand that. So that's why a person can sit in silence and go away and everything's still the same, because the understanding isn't there.
But in the silence may be all right for the time being.
Yeah.
But after never come away from the silence, we are in the old track. But when we have the proper understanding, then we need not worry about anything. Whether silence is there or not, we don't bother about that.
Right.
Everything will be all right.
Yeah.
So in the same way, there's not much important to the energy of the mountain or anything like that. It's again just an experience, just a happening that may occur and doesn't bring any understanding.
Oh yeah, we will have some presence, we may have some good feeling for the time being. But the intellectual understanding, it will remain with you forever. If you have the proper understanding in the intellectual level, it is yours. It becomes the main thing is the knot is in the intellectual level. So you have to open the knot, and the matter will be completely over. So but wherever you are, the understanding will be with you. But we cannot take the mountain always along with you. But you can take the understanding wherever you go, the understanding will follow you.
It made me think the fact that understanding is the most important thing, and from there everything follows. That if something happens and there is some damage to the brain because of anything, and the intellect in a way damaged, there's some damage. So the intellect doesn't work properly, and the understanding maybe, I don't know if it will be still there. And the question is there, if I understand correctly, liberation is you are liberated from any circumstances, whether, no matter what happened physically also. But if there is some damage, for example, to this intellect, and it doesn't function properly, how then you will be free in such a situation?
So here, the intellect is not. We are not demanding greater intelligence. So intellect means we understand no work in the psychological world. So simple understanding. Because we are accustomed to take some responsibility in the external world, we apply the same rule psychologically also. And where we are finding to have a comfortable place in the psychological world. And we are, for that reason alone, we are inquiring here and there. But the simple understanding that we have no work there, that alone is enough. And we have to understand, and we must be sure that our understanding is correct. And then afterwards, the conclusive understanding will take care of itself. But this is very, but you need not always remain with the understanding, always keep the understanding with you. Once you have decided, then you keep yourself without without having any disturbance by the other school of thought or anything. But somebody may say, no, you have to do something, some work, then only you will be all right. So they may say like this. But they are doing that only for the beginners. For the beginners, it is inevitable because some doing, some work, some practice, everything is good. Then only they can be all right to reach the higher level. So in that higher level, the little understanding that we have no work psychologically is enough, and it will not be damaged by anything. So it will be damaged by the other school of thought alone. Otherwise, it is not done. It will not be damaged.